But right here, right now, we can express our joy and be in our joy. We get to choose joy. It's a sacred spark that lives in our consciousness. There is still suffering in the world, but I get to experience joy today. Guilt-free, shame-free. I get joy. I've been thinking of things I've seen recently. Kids splashing in a pool, giggling without a care, or a sunset that paints the sky gold, the way the aspens sparkle in the breeze. One of the ways we find joy is to just be attentive to what's around us, like that tree, like Reka's voice, like that amazing song of getting up together and singing out loud in a community. We sense the joy in that, and I keep pointing at the tree, but there's just nothing happier than a Christmas tree. I don't know about you, but I like sparkle. My eyes just light up. There's a direct thing between sparkle and happiness inside my head. And so when I see sparkle, I just feel happy. And maybe I'm the only one who's noticed this. Maybe I'm the only one this has happened to, but traffic seems light this year. And am I ever happy about that? Life's good. And then I have to tell you something else I'm very joyous about, because I know that 2 years ago, in this congregation, we were praying for Russell Wilson to catch one ball, to get one ball connected. And I have to tell you, it brings me joy every Monday to go into King Soopers and get my free donut because the Broncos won. And we're just going to sidestep for a prayer. We know they're going to win this afternoon as well. That's right. There's no reason for them not to win this afternoon. They are on a streak, and this is all just old thinking that the streak has to break. They're going to take it. How far are they going to take it? All the way. There's our prayer today. All the way. Think how joyous we're going to feel on that day when we sit down to watch the commercials. And after the commercials, it'll be Bo Nix throwing the ball. That's joy. That's better than Christmas. Forget Christmas. Let's pray for Bo. Okay, these moments remind us of what Unity calls our Christ nature, the divine perfection within. And joy is God expressing through us. Who are the hands and heart of God? We are. This is the hand that does God's work. These are the feet that walks for God. These are the ears that hears God's message. And so the joy I feel is the joy God is feeling. It feels really good. We are the carriers of joy for God. And when we light up our spirit in joy, in laughter, in caring, in kindness, that's lighting joy up. I wouldn't be surprised if just on account of what we're doing here that tonight 1 billion trillion stars show up. Just for us because we sang today in this room. Well, that's not really the way God works, but we can pretend like it is. And why not? Isn't Christmas all about pretend? Joseph Campbell, that great mythologist, said, "We can't cure the world of sorrow, but we can choose to live in joy." So how do we really live in joy? Well, I have some ideas. We have to shift our consciousness. We have to start. Unity teaches that our thoughts create our reality. When we focus on joy, when we think about joy, we become magnets. When we think about abundance, we become magnets. We are magnets for whatever it is we put into the stream of consciousness that we call spirit, higher power, God, grace, love, inner Christ. That's what we do. So we just put those thoughts out there and we become a magnet. It's no coincidence that everyone is sitting in this room and that everyone in the room is also a joyous person. This has all been magnetized together. It's not happenstance. It's spirit and consciousnesses working together to God's advantage. And we begin to sense the world as being a joyous place. Now, I know we're not in joy all the time, not every minute of every day, but we do begin to notice things which bring us joy. The Christmas tree. In the summer when I'm out, I notice the babbling brook. In the autumn, I notice the aspen. In the winter, I notice how dry it is. It's really dry this winter. And so I'm celebrating that. That's my joy. Okay, Spirit, something's going on, and I'm going to trust that there's joy in it for all of us. And I know that we're going to get snow, and our lawns are going to be fed, and all of the wheat out east is just going to blossom so perfectly next spring. I'm not going to worry about it today. Because today is this day and this day, and there's plenty of time to worry later. For a long time, I got a job once, and it was a great job, great money, great company. They traveled me all over the world, the country, and oh man, it was the best job I ever had. But it was also the most stressful job I ever had. We would go into meetings, and our clients, we were designers, hotel designers, and they would threaten lawsuits as a way to open the meeting. That was awful. And so I was a little bit avoidant about going to work at all. And I found myself, instead of taking the highway, the fastest way, I would stay on the street grid, so it would take me another 10 minutes before I had to get there. And then I started in New Thought. I started, this teaching we call, in the big picture, is called New Thought, a new way of thinking about things, a different way of looking at the world, a way of looking at the good in the world and knowing that I can attract the good in the world and that things can be stressful, but I am at choice as to whether or not I feel that stress, whether I let it bother me, whether I let it make me snap at my coworkers. So I was sitting in the car one day, and you know what I decided? I decided I'm going to start enjoying my work. And I got there, and I did something I enjoy doing, which is drafting. I love to draft on a table with rulers and triangles. And I just started that simple procedure of doing something I like at the start of each day. What if we all just did something we like at the start of each day? What if we had our coffee and had our meditation with our dog or cat, and God bless Skippy, and just went about a day up in that joy, opened ourselves to a life where what we're doing is what we enjoy doing. There's no rule that says we have to do the things we don't want to do. There might be consequences. But if I don't want to pay my bills, I don't have to pay my bills. If I don't want to be with a certain member of my family, I don't have to be. If I don't want to, I don't have to. And that's one of the things that we can do as grown-ups. We get to all be grown-ups and make decisions about how we want our lives to play out. So we magnetize, we become spiritual, we do what feels right and good for us, and let others have the benefit of that adulting. And let go of the dread. Anytime we're in dread about anything, that's a clue. Oh, I wrote here that I'm going to start going to the joy aisle at the grocery store. You know there's a joy aisle? I don't know if everybody has one. My store is a fairly new King Soopers, one where they took an old building and put like 22 aisles in it. And one of the double aisles is all the seasonal goodies. And so there's a lot of joy in there. Now it's Christmas, and guess what happens? Everything's already on sale. So I can go in there and feel very happy. And guess what? Next week, it'll be Valentine's. They're jumping ahead to Valentine's. And the candy will be on sale. It's something all the time. There's always joy in the joy aisle. And I can go to the Joy restaurant. I can go to the Joy fashion store. I get to decide what my experience is going to be. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, we will see it. Second, we release any barriers to joy: fear, resentment, doubt, and worry. Is anyone familiar with any of these? It's just me. Okay, I'm fine with that. Through affirmation, meditation, we let these dissolve, knowing they have no power. None of those have any power. So I thought we'd do some affirmations because we want to lighten ourselves. Today is about lightening ourselves into the bubbling of joy so that we go into the next 4 or 5 days anchored in joy, celebrating, barely touching the ground as we walk. Are you ready? Yeah. How do you release fear? We say, you're not the boss of me. Okay, fear, you're not the boss of me. A little louder and a little deeper. You're not the boss of me. Be gone, fear. And resentment, oh, okay. Resentment, I'm done drinking that poison. Yeah. I'm done drinking that poison. No, I'm putting that poison down, the poison of resentment. Doubt. How many of us are in doubt right now about something in our life, something that's coming up, something that might happen? Well, doubt, here's what I say. God, if you put it in front of me, I'm going to do it. How about that? God, if you put it in front of me, I'm going to do it. That was a commitment. If God puts it in front of us, we're going to do it. We step into it. I asked Georgia O'Keeffe one time, how did you get so many paintings done? Wasn't it difficult? And she said, I was terrified every day, but I never let it stop me from doing anything. How many times have we been terrified and just sat on the sofa through that terror? But we have the strength, we have the courage, we have the joy to get up and move through anything that's difficult. Anybody meeting any difficult family this week? Oh, well, I'm the only one. Let's see. What's Worry's least favorite song? Worry hates the song, and you know it. It's called Don't Worry, Be Happy. Let's say that together. Don't worry, be happy. Let's put that Christmas person, whoever it is we're worried about, family, in-law, whatever, just look at it and hold its consciousness and say to ourselves, don't worry, be happy. Oh, it's melting away. I don't even have to talk to that person if I don't want to. And I'm hoping they don't talk to me. Have you seen this meme going around? A man and an owl are sitting on a park bench. The man says, why is happiness so elusive? And the owl replies, because you keep looking for it in the future instead of the present. We express joy boldly. We laugh, we create, we connect, because joy is the energy of God bouncing and dancing and revealing through us and blessing all that we touch. Most of the time, everybody in the world is going around super serious, going, doing, stern, accountable. And if we see someone laughing or smiling, we kind of go, well, aren't they special? Guess what? We're all special. We get to laugh and be joy. And we, for just a while, just this week, let's practice not meeting people where they are, but letting them meet me where I am in my joy, instead of falling into a habit of being somber or difficult or whatever. I'm going to just spread the joy around, spread the bubbling sparkly wherever I go. But don't carry glitter in your pocket. That's not good. I'm just going to read this. I was devastated to hear this last September. about the students at Evergreen High. Do you remember that? A young man shot 2 people and then himself. And the 2 people lived. They were in critical condition for a while, but they're doing well. On that Friday morning, I heard online that all of the students at Lakewood High School, all of the students had walked out of their high school. And they walked down, they were letting the community know how unsafe they felt after the shootings. They walked down the sidewalks on Kipling, which is a major street out west. And they went from the high school down to their big sports area, about 1.5 miles each way, the Trailblazer Stadium. Then they turned around and walked back. They were walking along carrying signs. Some of the signs said, "How loud do the screams have to be? We should feel lucky to go to school, not lucky to get back home safe. Fear has no place in school." And on one girl's face it said, "Don't shoot." I went over there and just stood on the sidewalk and watched these kids pass by. And they were carrying signs. And some of them, a few, were very somber. But you know something about high school kids? They're not that somber. They're laughing and carrying on and telling jokes and flirting with each other. They had a purpose that day to carry a message, but they were carrying that message with joy. They were not burdened down, they weren't held down. They knew that their lives were going on. That while they were saying these things, they knew that it was good to be alive. And it's good for all of us to be alive. That's what I'm saying today, that in spite of all of the things that are going on in the world, I have a duty to express the joy of who I am. Each of us has a component of joy within us, and it's our obligation to the divine that set that in us to let it free. You know what? Suffering is everywhere, but so is joy. So let's have a meditation. Let's dive in a little bit. Maybe not too far. Let's maybe don't go deep. Let's go to that place where joy expresses in each of us. Where's the place in your body where joy lives? What is it feeling right now? Can you connect with it? What are some joyous things to think about at this moment? Bubble baths, the sound of music, buttered popcorn. We allow ourselves to roll around and wallow in our happiness. Get our feet wet in our joy. Splash around in the wonderment of our lives, of the lives that we've created. We get to feel that joy and express that joy, even if it's only to ourselves. We just hold that bubble of joy, and just contemplate life as a joyous way of being. together we know in this community that we are divine. That each of us contains and inflames the spark of divinity. That each of us is perfect in health, in prosperity, in liveliness, in communication, in relationships. Each thing we choose today is an absolutely perfect thing to choose. Each thing we have chosen is perfect. There is no imperfection in our lives right now. The flame we sense is a recognition that we are divine, and nothing can change that divinity. Nothing we've done, nothing that's been done to us, nothing that we're thinking of, nothing can change that divinity that lives and joys within us. And we know that this week happens so quickly and so joyfully, and that everything that's done, everything that needs to get done, gets done. That our charge isn't to get through our to-do lists. Our charge is to enjoy the things we do. We release our to-do list and let go of one or two things that really might not be that important. And we just set our inner timer on being spontaneous and in the flow of Christmas. This moment of rebirth for each of us, this rebirth of the Christ within, this moment of recognition of how we can be as we live, in the flow, joyous, abundant, singing, enjoying every calorie, letting life be, accepting ourselves as happy people, and letting it bounce forward, letting everyone see my joy. Everyone sees my joy today. I reveal myself as a magnet for joy today. I come out of the closet as a joyous person this day, and I hold joy in my heart all week long. Amen.